Hi there again everyone, Josie here, Life at 50 and Beyond. Thanks for joining me here in my channel where you will find mostly affordable, practical, and easy DIYs. Today I have a compilation video. This is where I'll be showing you how I clean, purge, and organize my kitchen in different zones. So let's get started! First, I'll be tackling the kitchen drawers. This drawer here on the left side of our range has a lot of mess, especially this plastic to-go utensils. For some reason, even if we don't ask for them, whenever we order some takeouts, they give them. Nothing wrong with that, I guess, but we have just a ton of them, so I didn't want to just throw them away and add into the landfill. So instead of doing that, I'm just setting them aside for if they're get-together, especially in church activities. I will be able to reuse them or even donate them. So right now I'm just cleaning up this drawer, removing any dust and any debris, and I'm just placing a piece of grip liner under a liner so that it will not be moving back and forth. So here I have all these containers. These white ones, these baskets are from Dollar Tree. I like that they are actually flexible, so that's why I bought them, so that if I need to kind of put them or squeeze them into a tight location, it can be adjusted. Now this one here is the skinny basket. I love this a lot. This comes 3 or 4 in a pack, sometimes 5 in a pack whenever they're having a kind of special at Dollar Tree. Now this one with this 3-compartment drawer organizer was from Target about a couple of years ago. I like the fact that it has 3 long compartments, so it'll be enough space for longer items. I put one skinny basket from the Dollar Tree at the back of it, and then these 2 rectangular wider baskets also from Dollar Tree on its right, and then I put also 2 skinny ones to fill in the gap. That's the reason why I really like these softer baskets, because they can easily be adjusted or can easily fit into those tight spaces. So all the long items like the tongs, the serving spoons, I place them on those 3 divided drawer organizers, and then on one of the skinny baskets behind it, I placed some of the brushes, you know, the basting brushes, and then some of the soup spoons, I placed them on the skinny baskets, and then on the square or rectangular baskets, I placed the can openers in one, and then my ice cream scoopers in the other. And then anything that I don't need anymore or too much duplication, I got rid of them. The drawer to the right of the range is where we place all of our knives, all types of knives, even the bread knives as well as the chopping knives and even the steak knives that we use, because I just want to put everything that's sharp and pointed inside one drawer. I'm using this grip liner from the Dollar Tree, cutting 2 sections to fit inside the drawer, and then this other liner that I place on top of it is also from the Dollar Tree, and just cut it to size. I'm reusing the drawer organizers that I used on the left one, the one that I replaced earlier, so that I do not waste any materials. So it doesn't mean that it didn't work on one drawer that I will not use these organizers anymore. So just a tip for you, you may want to reuse them in other drawers. In this case, I'm using it for this drawer here. So I'm just placing all of my longer knives inside that wooden organizer for my knives. I purchased that years and years ago from Bed Bath & Beyond. I placed the kitchen scissors as well as the 2 meat cleavers in one of the white divided baskets that I'm reusing, and then I'm placing all the like items like the graters, the vegetable cutters, the vegetable peelers, and like I said, anything that would belong. But this small tong doesn't belong here, it belongs to the left drawer. So I'm placing it there. Now this one here is the drawer for our eating utensils like the chopsticks, the spoons, the forks, And like I said, the knives went to the drawer where the sharp items are. I'm using another grip liner from the Dollar Tree and then putting another liner on top of it, also from Dollar Tree. That way, my drawer is protected. I'm reusing this utensil organizers that I got at Home Goods for approximately $7. I'm placing a skinny basket and a small square basket from Dollar Tree to the back of my drawer, and then I positioned the utensil organizer in a horizontal manner. This way it fits just snugly or perfectly to the width of my drawer. So I just separated the spoons and then the teaspoons, the smaller forks, and then the bigger forks. And then in that compartment there, I noticed that I can also fit in 2 skinny baskets from the Dollar Tree. And they were able to fit in, like I said earlier, they can be adjusted because they're flexible to fit any area. So here I place more spoons as well as forks. So here it is for the top drawer. And now below that is a drawer for all our linens for the kitchen. So the kitchen towels or hand towels as well as drying towels. I'm just going to be cleaning the bottom part here. And what I'm going to use here instead of the grip liners or the regular liners, I have some extra plastic placemats that I got at Dollar Tree that I am not using anymore. So I'm using them to line that drawer. So just a tip for you, you don't have to buy liners. If you have old placemats, you can use them as liners as well. Here I use 2 plastic rectangular die-cut style teal bins or baskets, and then behind it the other basket, that elongated one, I got it from Target. I think I purchased that for like $3. And then those 2, of course, Dollar Tree baskets in front of it is of course $1 each. So I just folded all my linens or my kitchen towels and separated them. And then anything that I would be using for cleaning, I will be using the rectangular basket at the back. Actually, I'm going to relocate, put those old hand towels and then the drying towels in their proper place. See here, I'm just kind of removing them, fitting them here, and so that all the towels are going to be on those 2 baskets, and all the sponges, all the cleaning towels will be in that elongated basket. And then the empty space there, I have enough space for my magic erasers, not miracle sponges, because I pronounce that miracle sponges sometimes. So here it is. I love it. It's corralled, it has compartments, so I put on top my drying mat as well. Perfect. So the third or the bottom drawer is deep enough to hold our tumblers. So I'm still going to reuse it for our tumblers. First, I'm going to be cleaning it up. Apologies for the mess, all those debris and dirt. And I don't know where they came from, probably from the top drawers. Anyway, I'm just going to be cleaning that up again, wiping it. And then here, I'm going to be just using the grip liners that I have left over. And then those drinking cups that have covers or tops, those are the ones that we are keeping, and those that do not have any matching cover or top or bottom for that matter, we are getting rid of or putting in the recycling bin. Next, I'm tackling this small drawer here at our island, and I'm just going to be reorganizing our paper, our kitchen papers, for example, aluminum foils, our parchment papers, and wax paper. So I'm going to clean the bottom again, and then I'm going to put some grip liners to be able to kind of keep that protected from any scratches, especially those boxes have some sharp cutters, so I didn't want them to damage my drawer. So here I'm just going to be using these 2 rectangular plastic baskets from Dollar Tree. I'm going to be placing some plastic covers there, and then also some freezer bags. I'm using a small plastic basket, this square one here, to hold our rubber bands. And there's still space to the back of that drawer, so I'm just gonna fit something in there. I'm pretty sure I can put another small basket there to hold something, but for now this one works. To the left side of this drawer is a wider drawer where I'm going to be placing our tea boxes or supplies of teas. Right now, it's kind of a catch-all for some of the items that we will no longer need here, and I'm going to be relocating them. But I am just going to be putting our boxes of tea. Now, just a kind of heads up, I am still going to change this later on in the video because this is a collection. So a collection means there are several videos here. And I have done this at that time and then I'm changing it later on, which you will show. But this one makes sense here too. What I did is I put some grip liners underneath those two kind of like bamboo style placemats. Like I said, you can use placemats as well to line your drawer. So here I'm just putting our surplus for our tea bags because we love to drink teas. And later on, I will be organizing our beverage station. But for now, I want to show you because this is still a good option or alternative to show you where we organize our hot tea bags. So recapping the drawers, here are the photos of the ones that I have just cleaned up and organized. Next, kitchen cabinets. Here's the first cabinet that I will be working on, and this is to the left of our microwave, the built-in microwave hood that is right above our oven or range. And I've used some baskets here to corral things, and even that riser behind one of the baskets at the bottom shelf. But I think I can do better than this. This is where our oils, our sauces, our cooking spices, as well as herbs are, because it's closest to where we cook, like the stove and oven. So I'm just gonna go ahead and maximize the space, although for the most part it does work, but I think I can do better. So what I'm gonna do here is kind of take out everything first, remove or throw away anything that's expired, clean up the space, all the shelves, and then maybe readjust one so that it can fit or give enough headroom for my DIY spice organizer. So I'm here just wiping the sticky shelves, and then here I am just going to readjust or adjust this shelf here to make it higher. So I'm just going to put the liners first, and then I am just going to be cutting the liners to size. The liners will protect the bottom of this cabinet so that if there are spillages from the sauces or cooking oils, it will be protected. And that one there is my new organizer for the spices and herbs. And I'm going to be showing you the link in the description box below so that you can watch the tutorial on how I made that. But first, let me tell you the one shelf that I adjusted so that my DIY organizer for my spices can fit, because that was too tall for the way that the shelf was placed earlier, and I want to be able to put taller bottles or containers on top of this organizer. And I will be linking in the upper right hand corner the DIY again tutorial, or in the description box below. So I placed a clear plastic shoe box and it fits right there to the right of my organizer. I'm just testing it if that's where I'm going to be placing the bigger or taller bottles. Also, adjusting the shelf will allow me to put taller bottles because sometimes we have sauces that are taller that wouldn't fit when the shelf was still lower. So this hits two birds with one stone. So now instead of the shoebox, I'm actually gonna be using again the same plastic that I used before. I figured it's deeper or even wider, so that's why I can fit in more bottles there. I'm liking this because now I have more headroom for taller bottles. I place liners to the top of my top shelf to protect it from the surplus sauces there, and I even have a shallow tray to corral some of the bottles. And those are the surplus, like I said, and if I need additional supply, I will use a stepper or a ladder to reach them. And then the middle shelf, since it is small, that's where I put the oil sprays. And then later on, I will be putting smaller, shorter but fatter bottles of seasonings. Perfect for that middle shelf. I love how this turned out. It is more organized and I have headroom at the bottom shelf. Everything is corralled in their proper place. Like I said, those that I rarely reach out for, I put them at the very top. Those are the surpluses or the extra supplies. And the middle shelves for the ones that are for the spray bottles because I wouldn't be afraid of them spilling out. And then the bottom has everything that we need within easy reach. Now the second cabinet to the right of the microwave is the next one in line. This is where our hot tea or coffee drinking cups are, which doesn't really make sense because it's so far from where we prepare our hot drinks. So that's why I'm going to be organizing this. I'm going to remove the drinking cups. And then this is where we also keep our serving bowls as well as serving trays and those other plates that we rarely use. And some of the soup bowls are here too. We like to eat in bowls for the most part because we're Filipinos. We like to eat food with broth. So sometimes we just mix them. We sometimes don't use the plates because we do have broths and we just mix them inside the bowl together with the rice and the broth. And then there's a deep part to the right side here. As you can see, I'm still taking out stuff. So those are the hard to reach areas, but those areas are the places for items that we rarely use. So I'm just going to be cleaning these shelves and then putting some liners where I need to put liners, and then I'm going to be just organizing, purging the items in these cabinets here. So for now, I'm just going to leave you with some music instead of explaining everything because, you can just watch me as I do these things here. Oh, by the way, I just want to show you this one here. I love this wire shelf, this hanging one. It gives you enough space. I got it at Ross for $6 over a year ago, and that's where our bowls are. So I already have bowls on top of the shelves, but that one is for the extra ones because sometimes it's hard when they're stacked up so high and you have to remove the heavy bowls and it's harder to kind of organize them that way. So I will be just leaving you with some music here. for the next cabinet, this is the one right on the left side of our kitchen sink. And this is where our strainers are, but I'll be removing the coffee, the sugar, and creamer here because, again, our hot drink station is next to our refrigerator. So I'm just going to be putting them in the same location for easy access. So I'm just going to be cleaning again the shelves, making sure that I disinfect areas and remove all the gunks, and then cutting more grip liners. These are some extra grip liners that I have. They are not necessarily from Dollar Tree, but they're old grip liners that I am reusing, and then some Dollar Tree liners to top them. Then this is where I put the salad spinner, the strainers that we often use. And they are used by the sink, so it just makes sense to have them there. Now, at the very top shelf, I kept our ceramic teapots and some of our teacups that we rarely use. So they're not going to go to the hot beverage station because they're only used for special occasions. So here it is, just a simple one with all our plastic bowls. And again, on top are those cups that we rarely use and only for special occasions. To the right of our sink is this cabinet, and this is where we place our champagne glass. We don't really drink champagne or wine. Actually, this is a drinking goblet. It's a water goblet. And some of the precious gifts that were given to us, like glasses that are made of crystals. So I keep them at the very top. Just like I said earlier, anything that we rarely use, I'm keeping them on top, and they're valuables. They're valuable for us, may not be for others, but they are precious gifts from our loved ones. So here I'm just going to be removing again some items. To the bottom shelf, the ones that I remove are the plates that we use on a daily basis. And then what I've done here, because I kept climbing up and down to make it easier, I cleaned them up. And then I put them on the shelves first to the bottom and the middle shelf before I put them and rearrange them to the top part. And again, these are the items that I rarely use. And again, if we have to use them on special occasions, we will do so. Some of them are collectibles. Then on the middle shelf, I put some grip liners and also protective covering so that that will protect the shelves. And here I'm just using some risers. I'm just separating the plates so that it will not be too hard to kind of pull out things. And then here are our water or drinking goblets. And that's what we use for drinking water. We don't drink wines here in our home. Very rarely do we do that. And again, we have some tumblers here, some plastic tumblers. I corralled them in this plastic basket that I got at Dollar Tree a long time ago. I don't think they have that style anymore. And I was trying to fit that at the bottom so that it's easier to reach, but didn't work. But I replaced or put back those two risers for the plates so that I can use them there. So again, those are the plates and goblets that we use on a daily basis, and even the tumblers. And the top one would be the rare occasion items. Next, I'm tackling this cabinet right above our refrigerator. This is where we place some of our trays and also cake stands, anything that we use to serve or to participate in potlucks. We also have trays here, and these covers for when there are flies in summertime when we are outside. So I'm just going to be cleaning them up and purging also the items that I don't think we need to put here, the items that we would store in another area of the house. That's where we're going to put them. So I'm putting back this big tray or this bigger items that we use for entertaining, and then this cake stands as well as the jug for drinking I'll be putting here too. Also the juice pitchers, as well as this glass ice container or bucket, I also have this huge salad bowl that we use for entertaining because that is really huge. So if we have a lot of guests, I do have that tureen for serving soups. And that's a perfect place for those. And then there's a gap here on top of the refrigerator, just below that cabinet where we put some of the serving trays as well. Now I'm tackling the lower cabinets this time. I don't think I need to change anything here. It's still neat and clean and it's working out just fine. So I just want to give you some tips here. It's kind of a hack. If you don't have the budget, like we don't have the budget, for the pull-out drawer for pots and pans, I've used this shallow Sterilite containers to organize them. So I'm gonna try to link them in the description box below where I purchased. I think I purchased a set of 6. I only placed a grip liner there to keep the pots from moving and also to protect the bottom part of that plastic container. And we've used it. It's almost 8 years old and they've served us so well. They saved us money by not installing the pull-out shelves. And then to the right, that's the Dollar Tree pot lid container. And below it, there is that green bin where I put the bigger pot lids. And then if you notice quickly, there's a flash there of the oven mitt where I place them or hang them with the command hooks. Now here to the right of the oven or the range, I also use the 2 Sterilites or shallow plastic to use as containers. Here, I'm going to show you how I put the grip liner and then just lay it out flat so that the things that I put there will not move. So these are the smaller appliances that we use in our kitchen. And then the other one to the bottom, these are the rarely used items that I'm placing there. So that's why I kept the lid. And then on top of the lid, I placed our cutting boards. Next, let's tackle the hot drink station. So this one here, I just want to show you first. This is to the right of the refrigerator. And I purposely didn't tackle that earlier because I'm going to make this as a part of my hot drink station. So this was set up to hold our baking supplies. And because we run a home-based bakery, and I'm going to be moving them to another location in our home where all our baking needs or supplies will reside. I'm just going to be keeping some of the jars to the very top because I like the colors, as well as sometimes we do our own cake pops or desserts at home and we sometimes sprinkle them with melted candy melts. So I'm going to keep them there. But the other ones, I'm going to move them somewhere else. Those that are expired, I'm going to throw them away. But if you like baking, I know I've had some questions. This is how you can organize them too. Now to the bottom of it, this is where I am going to be organizing also this drawer. Remember this one that I just organized with our extra supplies of tea? I am just going to move them to that drawer there because it will make more sense as part of the hot drink station. And that's what I mentioned earlier also, that I am still going to move them. It makes sense because this is where our tea dispenser organizer is. I purchased that at Michael's for around $6.99 with coupons and sales. So again, I'm just going to clear this up, put all our hot drinks, even the hot drinking cups that I removed on one of the cupboards or cabinets inside this one. So I'm just going to be cleaning this up and then purging, and I'll leave you with some music for entertainment. So I just want to show you inside the cupboard what I've done. And this is where I place the items and the supplies for our hot drink station, like the Splenda as well as the Nesquik or the chocolate, and then the decaf ground coffee. And then we even have a presser there. And I corralled it with this Dollar Tree basket or wire basket. And then I also use a riser to separate the cups. And this is our setup before I purchase a single K-cup or coffee pod coffee maker. And this is the thermos that we were using. So I just want to show you, just in case you do not have a Keurig or a coffee maker dispenser for coffee pods or K-cups. So if you're drinking instant coffee, and you know, there's a place for everything here, even the stirrers and teaspoons, creamers, sugar, as well as the hot cocoa jars. And this cans here have some more tea bags there. And this one I purchased at Ross for $2.99, and there are 40 tea bags in each. And I love how they were presented or packaged. They were packaged in these tin can boxes, so that's why I'm keeping the boxes even though we're almost out of those tea bags. Yeah, so this is what it looks like before I have rearranged it again, and I'm going to be showing you that in a bit. So I just put this here. This is actually a bottom for the butter or butter dish, and I use that so that I can rest some of the teaspoons there or the stirrers, so that to avoid making a mess. And this one here is from the Dollar Tree. It is a cutting board that has a coffee design. And this is my tea bag organizer because we love drinking tea in this household. I purchased this at Michael's. I used some coupons and they were having a clearance. So I only purchased it. I only paid probably the tops like $6 or $6.99. And I think they still carry them. So if you're going to buy this, certainly use the coupons that they offer at Michael's. And I like that you're able to see the flavors of the tea through this clear acrylic window glass. And like I said, I really love this. And you can just pull that down and the tea can be dispensed. Like so. And for more extra supplies of teas, you can tell this household love teas, right? We have different flavors here. So the boxes, the extra supplies, I moved them from the island drawer and I moved them to the drawer right below where we mix our drinks or prepare our drinks. So it's gonna be a place where we can actually reach them better. And I just use this acrylic organizer to place the extra tea. And then if I ran out from the wall organizer dispenser, I just put them there. I just kind of replenish the supplies. And another rectangular white basket from Dollar Tree can hold some other loose supplies, like even this instant coffee sachet and some other tea bags. I have this reusable coffee pod, and yeah, and those extra stirrers there, again, these are for the extra supplies. So this is what it looks like again, and I am going to show you what it looks like now. And this is my DIY organizer for my hot drinks, and I'm going to be linking in the upper right hand corner the DIY, how I made that, because we went back to drinking some more coffee pods when we found out that we can actually recycle those pods now. Before we got rid of our big Keurig machine because the coffee pods were harder to recycle. Now we found out from the recycling center in our location that they're recycling them now. So if you are concerned about the environment, please ask your local recycle centers if they recycle the coffee pods. So here on the top, what I've done is organize my hot cocoa drinks as well as my other hot crystals there for the ginger. And here I'm still using my tea bags organizer up against the wall. And then below it, that's where I have the stirrers, the wooden stirrers. And then here I have coffee creamer as well as sugar. And I got this one at Target. That's by, I think that's by Hearth and Hands. And this is my single K-cup or coffee pod dispenser. And I still have that cutting board with the coffee design from the Dollar Tree. And we still have a thermos to heat water for our tea or instant coffee. I just want to show you this cupboard here. I still use the riser to separate some of the glasses and cups. And I have that wire tray or shelf that I purchased at Ross to put more cups there so that I can place some more cups and separate them and not stack them up on top of each other. So that's the only major change there inside the cabinet is the bottom one where I place the cups. So this is, again, like I said, this is the current setup and I'm really liking this now. And everything it's in its place and it's so organized. So this is the hot beverage station. Now let's tackle the under the kitchen sink. So excuse the ugly doors because we're still going to be repainting them or refinishing them, but the most embarrassing part is really not the doors. I shouldn't be worried about them, but I apologize for the mess. This isn't staged. This is what it looks like before I organize this. So as you can see, those 4 Dollar Tree green bins, actually it worked initially, but then we kept adding items and then just tossing them there. So they became catch-alls. My biggest challenge here was actually the pipes. And then there's this incinerator here too that's bulky. And even though we put some bins, it's so hard to reach them. So that's why what I've done is I created my own organizer. And it has worked for how many years now, and it's still there underneath our sink. And I'll be linking in the upper right hand corner the tutorial for that DIY. Actually, that's my most popular upload, and it's just a single DIY in one video. And I showed there how I created that organizer, which I'm going to be using here, and I'm going to be showing you in a bit. So I'm just going to be purging or removing all these things and then rearranging and then purging first, removing the things that we don't need here, and then throwing away anything that may be expired or we no longer need. That empty plastic container there is for used cooking oils or old cooking oils that we're throwing away. We put them in those empty jars. That's why we keep them underneath also. So I'm just using this tool. This is amazing. I got it at Dollar Tree. This is like a reaching tool for you to save your back and knees. It's for you to reach for things. So here are the items that I took out. All of them. And then what I'm going to do is replace these containers and probably just maximize the space and usability. Because if I put bins towards the back, chances are I'm not going to use the items. I've ended up purchasing newer items thinking that we didn't have them, but they were just hidden towards the back. So any duplication here, what I've done is I put them in another container or another storage inside our garage, which is close to the entrance to our kitchen anyway, if we need the surplus, so that I can clean and keep the under the sink not as messy as it was when you first saw it. So I'm just going to show you that I'm going to be cleaning it up, and then I'm going to be purging and organizing. So I'm just going to be using some disinfectant wipes in order to clean underneath the liner and on top of the liner. And see here, that's the challenge. That is the garbage disposal or the incinerator, and then the pipes. So pretty much it's pretty tight, and if you put a container around or behind that big gadget there, you will hardly reach for it. So what I'm gonna do is put back one of the crate bins from the Dollar Tree, and this is the one. And I'm just gonna be using this one to hold our plunger. And I just want to make sure that I tell you that it is not a dirty toilet plunger. It is the plunger that we're going to use if there is a clog. It is specifically being used just for the sink. So I know that in the original airing of this one, somebody said, oh yeah, why are you using a plunger there? But I already mentioned it on the video that it is not for the toilet, or we're not using the one for the toilet. The toilet has its own plunger. I even put this, we use the sink plunger to clear up any clogs. So that is actually a clean one, just meant for our kitchen sink, just in case there are clogs. Okay, and then to the left of the garbage disposal, I placed again the fire extinguisher. Now, because for emergencies, we would want to move the fire extinguisher closer to the front of the cabinet, because when there's an emergency, it might be harder to reach. But with that stick reacher, it's actually fine. So that's the reason why I put them towards the back, because we would rarely use them. Plus, here where we live, we have fire sprinklers, so I shouldn't be too worried about that. Now, this is the DIY organizer that I created for this specific space, and I put them together this way so that I can have the room to put the narrower baskets so that they can go under the disposal, and also the pipes. So as you can see here, it will not be hampered by those big blob of gadgets or the plumbing fixtures, as well as the garbage disposal. As you can see, it is just right leaning there. And then I use this Dollar Tree white bin that is deep and large enough to hold my bigger solutions or my bigger items that I need to organize. So this is really perfect, this DIY, and it just cost me like $6 to make, plus of course hot glue and zip ties. But these are 4 baskets from the Dollar Tree that I put together using 2 paper towel holders from the Dollar Tree as well. So as you can see, I'm just rearranging things. I'm putting things that we use for washing on the top portion or the top basket. And that's where all our cleaning tools are, the brushes for washing, and also this magic eraser here, and even the one I showed about the dishwashing pods as well. Then this is the gloves that we use when we need to wash the dishes to protect our hands. I put it there too. Then everything else, like for example, a roll of garbage liners or plastic garbage bags, as well as some cleaning solutions and powders, and even the Pet Fresh there. Everything that we use for cleaning, they're all there. And then those extra supplies, the wipes, as well as the dishwashing liquid, as well as the dishwasher liquid, I placed them there as well. Now this one was originally there too inside the cabinet, and this is actually from Daiso. It's only $1.50, and it is like a magazine bin or any storage bin that you can find that has those slots so that they can hang on those 2 command hooks. So I'm just putting it there to place my grocery bags. So that's where I place the grocery bags actually. So I love how this one turned out. Like I said, this one has been maintained this way ever since I created this DIY and I've rearranged things. So this is the before, and then this is the after. So I hope you enjoyed this video, everyone, and I'm hoping that you are having a great day, and I'll talk to you again on my next video. God bless you all. Take care. Bye-bye.